Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Master Duel video for you, and it's Monday, which means it's time yet again for another one of our viewers specials. If you are new to the channel, or this series in particular, what we do here every Monday is we take a look at replays from you all, the viewers. They're submitted in our Discord server. There's going to be an invite link in the description below to the Hexlex Plex. Under the Master Duel section, you can go to viewer special submissions, drop your 9-digit player ID, and I can view your publicly saved replays. If there's any in particular you want me to see, like if you have a really good game, then definitely make sure to take like a screenshot or get your opponent's name, something so I know you want me to see that game in particular. But yeah, I think it's a really cool way for us to come together and cheer each other on as a community. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of your games. Okay, first duel for this week comes to us from Draco, who you might be able to guess is going to be on Dracotail. It's actually going to be a Dracotail mirror match. Looks like this is a Duelist Cup game, so unfortunately I'm not able to take a look at the decks here, but it sounds like it's branded Dracotail and again, a mirror match. So we can probably imagine, at least for the most part, what the builds look like. But let's see what we've got going on here. Okay, we're taking the first turn. Got Branded Fusion and Ketu, as well as a couple of hand traps. It's definitely not bad. We're going to lead with the Ketu Dracotail here, adding the Lucius. Normal summon Lucius, and we're going to use that in order to add the 5 mana. We're then going to follow up with Branded Fusion, sending the Albaz and Frexel from the deck. I'm still not quite convinced on how to pronounce that monster's name. And we're going for Albion Sanctifier, which I really like a lot here. I remember in the comment section seeing a comment saying that instead of Albion, you know, the red ones, they really like going for Albion Sanctifier. And yeah, it's definitely a very powerful monster to go into. Even as just like a towers type effect, like even ignoring summoning Albaz or something else during your opponent's turn, you know, it can't be targeted, it can't be fused away, and that actually makes a lot of decks not really able to deal with the Sanctifier that well. Alright, so we got Flame, Sting, and the Albion Sanctifier here. Opponent's going to lead with the Harpy's Feather Duster. We are going to chain Flame, which will not only save our Sting, but of course also allow us to cycle for a draw here. Our opponent's going to chain Phimena, and then we're going to chain Maxi. Also, I just noticed it's really funny that our name is Draco, and our opponent's name is Tail, and we're both on Dracotail. That's awesome. Okay, here's the Arthelion from the opponent off the Phimena. What did they fuse away to make that? That was Lucius and Orgola, looks like? Okay. So that's negated. We drew, what, Rahu? Yeah, we drew Rahu there. They're going to get the Arthelion effect as well as Lucius and Orgola. We're going to chain Sting, banishing the Orgola out of the graveyard, and then we can also use Effect Veiler on their Arthelion as well. So they'll get to set 2. We can Ash Blossom the Rahu, so that's not really a big deal. I think we're overall in a pretty good spot here. Hand Dracotail with the Rahu in hand is actually not a bad draw. They've got a Dracotail Flame, but we could always try to beat that out with like the Branded Fusion. Okay, looks like they're going to set Ketu Dracotail. They're going to go for a triple Tactics talent to take control, and then we're going to chain Albion Sanctifier. Now they're probably going to take our Sanctifier here, I imagine. And we won't be able to fuse with it with the Albaz, but we will get it back at the very least during our next turn. Oh no, they're taking the Albaz, and then they're gonna fuse with it. They discarded a Rahu to do that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fine. I'm like debating if it's actually better for them to have kept the Rahu, but I think what they did is fine. I guess, yeah, in particular, Mirror Jade is a non-targeting way to get rid of the Sanctifier, so their play seems pretty solid. Okay, so here we can Ash Blossom the Ketu. We know the face down is Flame. Yeah, they don't really have much else they can go into. So we're going to take 6k, but we'll live. That's the most important thing. And our hand going into their turn actually looks really solid. Again, we know they have a Flame face down, but Mirror Jade has already used its effect, so we don't have to worry about that. Ash Blossom is a great top deck. That can negate the Flame. Because I was going to say we could bait it out with like the Branded Fusion, but we don't even really have to do that anymore. We're going to use Frexel to get back Lucius. Lucius at Phimena, leak off into the Spirit Phimena effect to fuse our 2 Dracotail monsters in hand. That's going to make our Secretarian Dragon. Or Secret See, Secretian doesn't... I don't like the way that sounds. I think Secretarian sounds cleaner. Okay, so they're gonna set Ketu, or we're gonna set Ketu, rather. Pop Arthelion, set Flame. Arthelion F to summon. We could even make spheres here if we wanted to, that's insane. We're gonna revive Albaz, too. And now we can go Albaz F to fuse with their Mirror Jade. We can make our own Mirror Jade here if we wanted to. We're going for Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. Lubellion F, discard Rahu. They're going to activate Mirror Jade, but I don't really imagine they're going to live through this turn, so that's probably just fine. They get to bring back their Arthelion, but I don't really think that's going to be too much of an issue here. Okay, so we're fusing Albaz plus Pan into Chaos Star Source Dragon. Chaos Star Source gets to pop the Arthelion that just got summoned. Now we can go for Ketu. They still control Valor, so we can flip that up and fuse. And then here's the Ash Blossom for their Flame. We know the last face down card is, I think, a Ketu, right? Or a Rahu? It's Ketu, I'm pretty sure. So that plus Valor is not going to do much against our board state here. Making another Arthelion. I don't think we've summoned one of these yet. Yeah, we haven't fusion summoned one of these yet. The other one was from the Banished Zone. And the funny thing is, this is our effect Valor, so it'll go to our hand as if this wasn't a win more enough situation. That's insane. That is an insane turn 3 in this Dracotail mirror match. Take notes, people. If you wanna study how to, you know, effectively capitalize on a turn 1 to win in the mirror match, I think this is a textbook game to demonstrate that. Thank you very much, Draco, for this duel. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Alright, next duel comes to us from Zine, or is it Zine or Zine? Like Zine, like magazine? I'm not sure, but Night Mango is their name on the Discord server, who is on Primite Crystron, which I think we've seen a game from them before. The build sounds familiar. Yeah, because we're on the Gen X. Or I don't remember actually if we were on Gen X last time, but we've got the Gen X Undyne, which can send water monsters from the deck to the graveyard, including our Crystron Smiter. So it seems that the Undyne is yet another starter for Crystrons that actually also puts a body on board, which is pretty cool. So very eager to see this build play out here. And for our opponent, they are going to be on Dracotail, specifically the Magistus variant. Looks like they've got some text for the mirror match here. We'll have to see if that really affects us. I mean, the Retaliating Sea would be annoying because we are on a deck that really wants stuff to go to the graveyard. So let's see how this game plays out. I think we are going to have to play through Fulos, I believe they were saying in the game description. Well, we'll find out here in a moment, so... Okay, we're going first. We've got the Undyne, as well as Primite Lordly Load and a couple of Crystron cards. We're going to lead Normal Summon Undyne, sending the Sulfenir, and then they're going to chain Fulos. Okay, so they do have it. Alright, so then we're going to add the Gen X controller, activating the Lordly Load. That's going to let us add Drill Beam. Now we can discard the Smiter in hand to summon Sulfenir, and I imagine that's why we, you know, obviously sent that instead of the Smiter. So we can banish that to add Inclusion. Inclusion effect can add the Cluster, and then we're going to use Sulfador, pop the Inclusion to summon. Mill 2, Inclusion can summon Tristaros, and then we're going to set 3 pass. Which this is a phenomenal board to have not given our opponent any draws under Fulos, because remember, the Tristaros can quick effect summon from deck and then synchro summon. We also have the Cluster, which can pop cards. We have the Drill Beam with the normal monster in hand, as well as an Imperm. So I think this is phenomenal. We have at least 4 points of interaction going into their 5-card hand. It's like they're going to go to battle phase and use yet another anti-Dracotail tech, which is evenly matched. I've personally never been that big of a fan of evenly matched, like at any point in Master Duel, but I guess there are worse board breakers you could be playing. Alright, so we're going to quick synchro during our opponent's turn for level 7. It's going to make Dawn Dragster. I like that a lot. If they have another board breaker, we can use that to negate it. Main phase 2, they're going to activate Spenta's effect in order to add the Zorora. Normal summon Zorora, we're going to flip up Cluster and then pop the Zorora. I like doing that before it has a chance to activate its effect. But it looks like they're going to go for the Ketu Dracotail here. We've got FA Dawn Dragster in order to negate that. And then it's going to be triple attack to draw to. I thought it was going to be another Ketu. But it's Dawn Dragster to negate the effect or the activation? It's activation, right? Okay, looks like they had just the Rahu anyway. It is activation, okay. So they had Rahu. They're going to go for Arthelion and then Phimena, as well as Orgola. What do they have in hand there? They had the Phimena in hand, okay. Okay, so we get to Imperm the Arthelion. They're going to set Flame and pop Cluster before activating Phimena to set Horn. And then they can still use Orgola to add back the Phimena here, which they'll probably, do right now. And then Spenta effect as well to equip. Oh, because Artemis lets them add another Spenta. They didn't want to summon Crowley. That's kind of interesting. Because they could have added it in special Crowley and then fused for Zorora. I guess, oh, they're going to make it anyway. Oh, they have it in hand already? Hang on. I missed that. Let me see that again. Discard, send, destroy. Okay, they did have Crowley in hand already. Got it. That makes more sense. Equipping our FA Dawn Dragster is a little annoying, but not the end of the world. Actually, this Ash Blossom is a phenomenal top deck to take care of one of those trap cards anyway. And then it looks like we're going to pivot into the Cyber Dragon Infinity anyway. Summoning in defense mode is really smart there. And I guarantee you, if I was playing this game, I would not have remembered to do that. But by summoning in defense mode, of course, we're playing around the Dracotail Horn. So they're going to try to negate with the Zorora effect. Of course, we can simply use the Infinity to negate. I actually like that we're choosing to save the Ash Blossom here. Although this Arthelion is going to be a little bit of an issue. Well, no, because we can just attach it with the Infinity. Yeah. Tristaros, they're going to use Flame on the Lordly Load. We're going to chain the Tristaros. I really like baiting them into using their Flame so that we can activate Tristaros. That's really good. Now we're going to summon Ellie Skelly. Crystron Eliskeltus, again in defense mode, playing around a Horn. They're going to Flame, put back Phimena, draw, negate Lordly Load. We're going to go Ellie Skelly F, add back the Cluster, very good. Normal summon Genix Controller, to which they're going to try to bounce it, and then we are going to chain Ash Blossom on the Horn. Now we can Synchro Summon for our Baron de Fleur. And we're looking really good right now. We have 2 Omni Negates going into our opponent's turn. Obviously, we're going to pop the Arthelion here. And they don't even want to play at this point. They're like, nope, I'm done. That was very, very clean. A very solid game. And a very good way to demonstrate just how much the Genix/Primite engine added to this Crystron build. I know I said last time that I wanted to try this out. I promise I do want to get to it at some point soon. It's a very, very cool Crystron build. Thank you very much for that. But we have time for one more game. So let's go into that last one here. And our last game comes to us from Gon, aka Steel Blake, over on the Discord server, who's got a game going second with Mitsurugi Ryzeal against pretty much full Malice plus Max C. That sounds like a lot to deal with. It's going to be this game up here. Again, it's a Duelist Cup game, so unfortunately not able to see the deck list, but Mitsurugi Ryzeal and Malice, 2 fairly known entities when it comes to deck building, so let's see what we've got going into this duel. Okay, going second, as mentioned, we have the Ash Blossom, but no other hand traps. I like opening Ice, X, and Prayers. That's really nice. Star, obviously not quite as ideal, but oh, interesting, they're playing a Math Mech engine. I haven't seen a ton of this from Malice, even post-ban list. I guess because it's mostly not necessary, right? Like, even post-ban list. Really eager to see the results of the Duelist Cup. Mostly just, I'm curious how well Malice will have ended up performing. I didn't really play in Stage 2 at all. I mean, you all know me, I'm not a big Duelist Cup person, even in the slightest, so... yeah, like I said, eager to see those results. The Ash Blossoming the Wicked here to keep them off of the Ignister engine. They're going to use triple attack to draw 2 before going into the Transcode Talker. Link Decoder summon, Transcode Talker F to revive the Wicked. And looks like they have the Ignister anyway. They're going to summon, add Dormouse, and then send Dormouse, I bet. Yep. Oh no, Circular. Interesting. Okay. So now is this going to be the Allied Code Talker? But they're probably not going to activate the effect, right? No. Okay, that's what I thought. They're keeping it up as Nibiru protection here. I didn't realize they hadn't used their normal summon yet, but they led with Mathmech Engine, so that makes sense. Setting MTP, I was just about to say, is really weird unless you already have, you know, the other trap cards in hand. And sure enough, they set 2, including the TB11, so... yeah, this Malice opponent's gonna just get to really pop off here. Going Dormouse plus White Rabbit into Splash Mage. Splash Mage F in order to revive March Hare, and then they're gonna link again into White Binder, I imagine this is. Resetting the TB11. And there's the GWC. I think, wouldn't you have rather have activated GWC, banished White Binder, and then activated White Binder to reset GWC? I think they also would have rather have banished GWC from their graveyard there to have something to put back with the Heart Scripter, which it looks like they're about to make right now. And then is it going to be Heart Scripter plus... well, no, it wouldn't be, right? Because they don't have GWC access. Curious. Okay. Well, I guess they have March Hare to enable Heart Scripter. Okay, so we're going to send the Aggregator off the X-Ryzeal. They're going to hit us with that Maxi. We knew that was coming. And we're going to use the Aggregator to stop their Allied Code Talker. That will prevent them from using the Omni Negate. So basically, we just have a couple of banishes to deal with at this point. Here's the first one from MTP. We're going to banish our X-Ryzeal. We're going to activate the Habakiri effect here in order to summon Saji. Saji F to add the Ritual. Now we're going to go Ritual F in order to summon from hand. Or no, from deck. We're going to go for the Murakumo now. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's not turn 1. You would want to go Habakiri turn 1, but... that's one of my biggest problems when I'm comboing, is I go into autopilot for turn 1 combos often. Yeah, no, Murakumo here to board wipe, and then if they have anything to try to stop it, we can use the Murakumo effect. We're going to chain Prayers to the Heart Scripter is actually really good. Because the Murakumo can still revive itself to have the negate up. And now they won't be able to banish. The only thing they can banish with the Heart Scripter is the Prayers itself, which obviously we don't really care about. Oh, no, they're going to banish the Heart Scripter itself, so it doesn't get hit by the board wipe, and then it comes back with double attack. That's smart. That makes sense. Forgot Heart Scripter can banish stuff on... but that would make sense that it can banish stuff on their field, too. I assumed it was only the opponent's field for a moment. Okay, so Murakumo gets revived. So they have TB11 and an unknown face down, right? Isn't GWC in the graveyard still? Yeah, it's right there. Plus whatever's in hand. The unknown card is Super Poly. Wow, in Malice. In Mathmech Malice? How do you have room in that extra deck? That feels really greedy. But they are going to get to fuse Heart Scripter with Murakumo, making Mud Dragon of the Swamp. We're going to go Summon Star Ryzeal by detaching from the Light Dragon at Ignister, flipping up the Cross that we set. We can activate Cross, putting back Node and Ice in order to draw. Going to special summon the Sword F. We're going to chain TB11 to summon a Malice monster from deck. Or extra deck, rather. Nope, they are going to summon from deck. I was going to say because we control 3 more cards, but... overlaying for another rank 4, we're going to make our Detonator. They're going to keep drawing here. How many cards do they have left right now? 16? Yeah, Ryzeal can't summon that much to deck them out here, but we can set 2, which should be really solid here, because remember, the Murakumo was properly summoned. So we could revive it with prayers, board wipe, get the Murakumo negate, and still also have the Great Purification negate. And then Murakumo would still summon itself back, because the first time it got summoned back from the graveyard was off of prayers. Wow, despite all those draws, we're going to have to go... Typhoon? How do they have room for all this stuff in their extra deck? It's kind of baffling to me. Alright, so they're going to try to go for the Typhoon. We're going to summon, or for the Maxi, rather. We're going to summon Murakumo. They're going to use Typhoon in order to bounce. We're going to chain Great Purification to that. Yeah, they can't summon anymore this turn, thanks to the Typhoon. So the Maxi really isn't that scary. They're going to Ash Falls and the Murakumo revive, but again, they're only at 500, so how much does that really, matter in the long run here? Set a monster, set 2, and then pass. Ice Ryzeal, moving to battle phase, battling over a Chessy Cat, and then just swinging in. I agree that was probably the best thing to do, because it's not like they're going to have Mirror Force face down. I guess they could have had another Super Poly, but they already summoned a Mud Dragon, so... Astro Duel? Hello? There we go. I was like, Okay, well, that is going to do it for not only this game, but also for this video. Thank you so much to Gon, aka Steel Blake, as well as everybody else who submitted for the video. I really could not do this series without you, and I love seeing all of your duels. And again, that we all get a chance to cheer each other on and sort of come together as a community in that regard. Excellent stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let's move on to our outro so we can thank our YouTube members and patrons. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.